Hey guys, it's Chris, and let's get into the inner workings here on how to blog. Um, Step number one: get your greens. No, I'm just kidding. Um, what we're gonna do is go over. Nope, that's YouTube. We're gonna go over this little cheat sheet I gave you guys, and forgive me, I'm still battling a cold here, so if I'm pretty stuffed up and coughing, that's why. We're going to go over H1, H2, H3, why we bold, italicize, and underline, and when we insert an image. So let's get right into it. I'm actually going to go into my wife's account. So it is similar to what you guys will see when you log in, which will look just like this. So what you'll do, when you first log in, it's going to look just like this. So you want to start doing, write your very first blog post. So we're going to go to New. We're going to go to Post. And just to make it easy and simple, what I'm going to do, and I don't suggest that you guys do this, I'm just going to copy and paste my blog here that I wrote the other day on diabetes, apple cider vinegar, and insulin sensitivity. Just to kind of give you guys an example as as to what to do and what the H1, H2, and H3 tags are. So let's go into here. When you guys first log in, it'll look like what I showed you previously. You'll go to New, Post, excuse me, and you'll end up with a screen like this. Okay? So the very first one was an H1 tag on our, that's YouTube. We'll get to that in a minute. H1 tag. An H1 tag, and all these are, H1 stands for heading 1, heading 2, and heading 3. And if this looks familiar to you guys, it's pretty similar to Microsoft Office. Do a drop down, here's your heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, 4, 5, and 6. I never use 4, 5, and 6. I don't go beyond heading 3, just because we're trying to keep it within 300 to 500 words, which you'll see as you're writing. They'll kind of keep a tally down here for you so you know how far you've gone. So heading 1, it's as simple as your main title, what the name of the blog is going to be. So in this case, it's what we want to write about. So I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to put that right in there. And you'll see this over here. This is the SEO presser I was telling you guys about. It is basically going to rank our blog. It's going to give it a score. And we want to get to as close to as 100% as we can. So we can hopefully get on the first page of Google, Yahoo, Bing, and all that other good stuff. But in order to do that, the first step, we have to add a keyword, basically what we're talking about. So if you go to my blog, you'll see in this post, I decided to, what's the blog about? This case, excuse me, apple cider vinegar. Come over here and click. Apple cider vinegar. And this can be whatever you guys want. There's so many things we can talk about, especially on the internet. You can just bring it up. Maybe a condition that you guys have. For me, obviously, it's the type 1 diabetes. And I kind of talk about health as well as the type 1 and, a bunch of other stuff, as you guys can see as you'll go through the blog. But it can be anything you want. So we type our keyword in here. And then we're going to click this. Refresh. And you'll see it starts to give us a score. Negative 27, and it's in the red. That's not good. Okay, and that's just basically because we haven't, started writing anything yet. We just have our H1 tag. Excuse me. And you'll see once we refresh that, you have a keyword with your H1 tag. So it's telling us the steps that we need to do in order to get this score up. Okay, and it will kind of basically walk you guys through as long as you have your keyword added in here on what the blog's all about. So this is all our H1 tag is, our heading 1, which is the title of what we're going to be talking about. Check that off. We want to go to H2. So what we'll do typically, we'll start writing what we're going to write about. In this case, our apple cider vinegar, obviously. And basically, as we start writing, again, I'm just copying this to show you guys an example. Paste that in there. Okay, so go back to our checklist. As we put in a couple sentences, our next one that we want to deal with is our H2, also known as a subheading. And we want to make sure our keyword or keyword phrase is actually in that as well. So always do, we go down, we're going to click here. Heading 2, you'll see how the cursor got bigger. This is my H2 tag, what we're going to talk about next in the body of the text. We'll type that in there. And this should automatically save for you guys. But just in case, if you don't want to, you can always save draft right down here. I think it's set up for autosave. But if it's not, it's always good to do that. And you'll see, excuse me. So you'll see as our score went up here. Also our keyword density, which is 5.43. We want to keep that between 2 and 4. And I can explain that to you guys. I'll explain that in another video. But you can see how our score went from negative numbers to 26.4 on our goal to 100. So this is our H2 tag. You'll see if we click on it. Heading 2. And down here, right below that, obviously it's going to discuss alkalizing your body with apple cider vinegar. So we'll pretend I'm writing. We're going to take all of this. And you guys will be writing away. Blah, 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 blah. Perfect. So now we have that taken care of. Okay, and typically what I do, I usually have one H1 tag, obviously, which is the which is my title. I don't have more than one of those. And I might have two H2 tags, two of these, and then I'll have an H3 tag. And you'll see once you update it, see how these beforehand, they were all red X's? Once we came down and hit save, this automatically updates for us and refreshes. So you can see now we have an H1 tag. I'm sorry, right here. You have a keyword with an H1 tag, keyword with an H2 tag, apple cider vinegar, because that's what we're talking about, and it's in our H2. And this is automatically, I have to double check on this to be perfectly honest with you. I think I set this up where it's going to automatically italicize, bold, and underline for you guys. But just in case it doesn't, let's just undo these real quick. And let's just unlink that. Perfect. Okay, so you'll see our score starts to go up, keyword density goes up. So what's next? We have our H2 tag. Like I said, I usually put another one in. Apple cider vinegar is good for heartburn. And this is all basically research that I've done online as I'm writing. So we're good with, whoops. And you'll see, well, this is a good example actually. You can just type it in there. Paragraph, heading 2, automatically does everything for you. And in this little paragraph down here, 2 or 3, you can see we're already up to 229 words. We're going to write about apple cider vinegar and heartburn. So we'll just grab this. Okay, so now that I have my H2 tags, and I have my H1 tag up here in my title, I want to go down to my subheading, my H3. So what we'll do, we'll go back to my blog. Oh, looks like I have a couple H3 ones. Okay, so this is actually going to be another H2 tag. So we'll go back here. And this is about apple cider vinegar and diabetes. You can see it's in H2 right here. And then we're just going to put in a couple paragraphs on apple cider vinegar. Again, I'm just copying this for presentation purposes. It is my own content. So apple cider vinegar and diabetes, we're going to talk about that down here. And you can see I usually do a couple paragraphs on each topic that we're going to talk about. So let me just get rid of these real quick and unlink those. Okay. So we're all set. Again, we probably want to save. And you'll see this is updating right here. We're up to a score of 65 on our way to 100. We're up to about 503 words. And our keyword density, see, you don't want these red. You want to get those in the green, and they will. As the keyword density comes between 2 and 4, that will turn green, and the same with your score. The higher it goes, it will turn green. But you can also see now we have an H1. We have an H1 keyword that's italicized, which is what we're talking about, apple cider vinegar. We have an H1, we have one keyword that's underlined, I'm sorry, we have one keyword that's italicized. We have our H1 tag, we have our H2 tag, and the red X, basically what we want to have now is our H3 tag, which is our heading 3. So we'll come down here. We will go back to my blog. And in this one, we're going to talk about apple cider vinegar and weight loss. And you'll see you can type it right in there. You'll see it's in H3. Well, this is what it would look like if you type. We'll make that H3 tag, and down here we're going to talk about our apple cider vinegar and why it's good for weight loss. And it looks like I have one other paragraph here on the bottom. Apple cider vinegar for, I used varicose veins. Came across that in some research that I had done. So we'll put that in there. You'll type that right out. As you type it out, it'll probably look something like this. Highlight, H3. And in this little section down here, we're going to talk about our why it's good for varicose veins. Okay? So pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I am a little over the 500. You can see I'm up to 650. I do try to keep it below 500 on most posts. If I do go over it, that's fine. It's not a big deal. You know, basically everything, the SEO presser up here will tell you basically how you're doing. And if you want to back it off a little bit, or if you need to add more content. And then lastly, what I always do is a call to action on the end of my blogs. Every single one, regardless of what they are. If you like this article and it was helpful, please leave a comment, because ideally that's what we're trying to do. We want people to come down here, and we want people to comment on our blogs, because this helps us you know, with the search engines and getting us on, whoa, I don't know what happened there, on the first page of Google. Excuse me, whoops. So in this case, I do, if it was helpful, please leave a comment right below, or hit the share button and share with your friends. And what I also do, as well as putting, you know, thanks for reading and my name, I put these little pictures in here, which is pretty much the same as you would on Facebook. It just kind of personalizes it a little bit, so you know, they do know you're human, and they do know that you know, you are a real person. It just kind of humanizes it, I guess, if that's even a word, a little bit. So to finish up, we will just kind of put that call to action at the bottom of it. And these are as simple as, excuse me, these are as simple as you can add them just like you would on Facebook or anything else. And it will look like that. It'll be the code, but it's automatically set up. Once you go to publish this, it'll come out looking like your normal smiley face. So that is all. That's your H1, H2, and H3. If we go to save, hopefully our score is going up here, which it is. We're up to 69. You can see our keyword density, now that it's between 2 and 4, is now highlighted green. You scroll down here, you can see we have one keyword in bold, one keyword italicized, one keyword underlined, one keyword H1, H2, and H3. And again, these are just our heading titles, that what we're going to be talking about in those particular sections. So that's it for now, guys. That's basically just building the blood.